you film the
Okay.
movie, and then you sell it on DVD to people.
A chalet with a normal bed, some warm water. That's my style.
Well, good afternoon to all you beautiful teachers from around the world. Claire Satchel here today. Let me bring on Mr. Robert Salo, my beautiful co-host. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you, Claire?
Good. I'm very well, thank you. I believe you took a little time off this weekend. Well deserved.
Little bit, just to move around.
Okay. Well, I like that. We all need a break every now and again. Are you excited for this episode?
Yeah.
Super, Robert. All right, great. Let's get into it. I'm going to introduce our guests for the day. All righty. So first off, we have Mr. Ali Mahmood. Ali is an ESL entrepreneur from Kazakhstan. Ali has been a Borat groupie since 2006 and aspires to star alongside in the next Borat sequel. Okay. Then I have my beautiful co-South African, Miss Minette Oberholzer. She is from a small town in South Africa, as I mentioned, an offline primary school teacher by day, rockstar online teacher by night. And when she grows up, she wants to be a Russian ballerina. Alrighty. So, Robert, I am going to hand over the reins to you. Let's go into our first segment with Minette.
Hey, how's it going, Minette?
Hi, Robert. I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic, thanks. We're going to talk about the unsolicited life coach. So,
Okay.
Minette, we all know people who like to give out advice for nothing, right?
Mhm.
Why do you
Yeah.
suppose they do this?
I think sometimes to seem or just to let themselves feel more important, you know? Ah.
Absolutely. Totally. I completely agree. And when we're in the ESL business, you see a lot of unsolicited advice in the comments, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. Where do you usually find these unsolicited life coaches?
Well, I think it depends on the topic of your class
Mm-hmm.
because um, depending on the topic, then they'll give you the advice that they think suits the topic. Sometimes it doesn't even suit the topic, which is bad, but you just acknowledge it and then you're like, yeah, great advice. Maybe just for another lesson topic. Yeah.
Absolutely. That I make that same exact sound when someone gives me blah, 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 un unsolicited advice. I go, yeah.
Well done. Great.
So
Oh, good.
so how do you feel when someone gives you unsolicited advice?
It depends on the advice. If
Yeah.
it's good advice, then I'm like, okay, yes, great. Maybe I can use this. If
Mhm.
it's bad advice, then I think by myself, like, why would you give advice like this to someone? Like, why? Just explain to me. And then I
Mhm.
kind of get upset. And then I'm like, okay, what does this person actually think of me to give me advice like this?
Mhm. Absolutely. It almost reflects how they feel about you.
Okay, yes. I think so. I think so. Maybe not all of the time, but I think most of the time, yes.
Yeah, definitely. So, as an ESL teacher, what's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten?
Whew. I've gotten lots of advice. Be patient.
That's a
Not
good one.
everyone is the same. Everyone is unique. So you need to be patient and understand each person for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Even
It's
if you
not
don't know them.
absolutely. It's not called I-neek, it's called unique.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally. So, can you tell me what's the worst piece of advice you've ever gotten?
Speak your mind.
Hmm. Oh no, I couldn't follow that one.
Always tell the truth.
That just turned the oof level all the way up.
I think so as well. I'm going to agree on that one because sometimes the truth hurts. Yes?
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We can
Excellent.
sugarcoat it a bit. Just a bit.
Uh, I might want to lighten it up on the sugar coating, but definitely like everyone else. Excellent. Well, thank you, Minette. That was awesome advice.
Oh, well done. Thank you, Robert. Mhm.
Excellent. Clara, how you doing?
All righty. Yes, very good. Thank you for that amazing advice, Minette. I'm taking notes here with my little book. Thank you so much.
My
Brilliant. Let's
pleasure.
bring on Ali as well. Hello, Ali. Welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Awesome. Great to see you.
Yeah,
So, guys,
great to
I'd
see you
like
too.
to chat to Ali
Mhm.
about unsolicited advice and life coaching, okay, as a teacher, because you signed up to be a teacher and all of a sudden you're needing to give advice. All right. So, if you could please tell us a little bit about your students.
Well, I mainly teach business English, and I teach to corporate clients and to learners who are, in top management, and not only like employees in top local tech companies. Yeah, so I teach offline, I teach online. So it's busy professionals who really love their work and who are top managers, basically. Yeah. So these
Oh,
are the
wow.
type of students that I work with. Yeah.
Okay, so did you begin with teaching youngsters and then move into teaching adults, or how did you get to this position?
Actually, no, I have a sporting background, well, hence my broken ear. So, yeah, I've been coaching kids. I used to be a professional swimmer and I used to coach kids. But the funny thing is that when I started teaching English, I've never taught kids, and to be honest, I can't even imagine teaching kids because I think it's like super challenging. But yeah, teaching adults, I think, is a little bit less tricky. So I've never really taught kids. I've went straight into corporate business English and teaching adults. Yeah.
Okay, I believe so. You know, I also teach adults.
Right.
I've chosen not to teach kids at the moment. And I believe you need lots of toys, lots of teddies to
Exactly.
keep them engaged.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. That's why I think
So,
like coaching kids is a bit easier than teaching them, because coaching, like, there's already like physical activity going on, but like keeping them steady and especially doing it online, I think that's super challenging. Yeah.
absolutely. I think that's why kids are struggling so much at the moment with the
Right.
pandemic, is
100%.
because they're all having to sit in front of the computer all day, and people are going, no, that's not what it's supposed to be. Perhaps learning English is only supposed to be an hour a day, you know?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
let's go to goal setting. All right. So that is a very important aspect of life coaching. Okay. So how do you incorporate this into your ESL teaching with your top managers?
Well, it's something that my mentor, the co-CEO of our school, Znayo, represent.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, yeah. So that's something that he sort of really taught me that the whole learning process, the whole learning experience must stem from goal setting, right? So every first lesson that we have with our students, we usually like spend an entire hour trying to understand what is the goal of our students. So usually whenever take, such, we never accept goals such as like, I want to become an intermediate level student. That's a very unspecific goal. Or like, I want to just become like good at speaking English because it's like, it's a universal language and I'm a top manager and I need to speak English to everybody. So we're really like, within a month. Yeah. So we usually get down to very basic things. Like I have one really interesting example. One of my students, she works in an international company, and that's the most recent case that I had. And she told me that she wants to learn English because like she has to know it, because she's like she has to know it and that's it. And then I asked her, okay, why is it important to you? That's a very interesting question that you can ask to your students to understand the importance of the goal. Is just ask them what will happen if you will not achieve this goal? What will happen if like you won't like learn English? And so we kept like it's like it's like a coaching session. You have to ask why, and it brought to a point where the student said, okay, I have regular meetings with our regional director from Australia once in 2 weeks.
Oh, there it is.
And I don't understand what he's talking about. Right. And also we have like business correspondence, and like I feel that my letters could be better. So now when you're designing your entire lesson, your entire like curriculum and your plan, it'll be centric. It will center around the basic goal of pretty much her understanding her boss, her regional manager in these important meetings. Now, you'd have a completely different learning experience if you would say, okay, you need English because you need it. Okay, thank you. Here's the textbook. Yeah. So it's sort of go, and you can actually. Sorry. Yeah.
No, carry on. Carry on.
Saying? Okay. So what we actually do is. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Well, just let me finish that thought. What we usually do is I use these meetings with her manager for her to tell me how well she started understanding him. So instead of using like tests or quizzes, I actually sit down and ask her, so how was your meeting this time? And she says, I actually understood it better. I understood specifically these points. So I think we're moving in the right direction. So yeah.
Brilliant. I love that advice. I think that, when it comes to in sales, you need to find that soft spot. And, people would come to the gym and they'd say, I want to lose weight. Where do I sign up? But why do you want to lose weight? Exactly. You need to find that specific reason, because I think that will keep students motivated. So that goal setting, I love that. I think that is on another level. That's super.
Exactly.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing that amazing advice, Ali. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Great pleasure. Yeah.
All righty. So I would like to come back to you, Minette. Let's find out, when it comes to balancing online and offline teaching. Okay, so you're teaching children Afrikaans by day, and you're teaching adults English by night. How do you get this right?
Good question. No, I'm only kidding. Well, I'm very passionate about what I'm doing. The main reason that I'm teaching is to help people, whether it's adults or children. So when you work in a primary school, well, most primary schools, you don't really get to decide what you want to teach always. Like if an opportunity comes and it's provided to you, you just have to say, okay, yes, I'll do it. I'll take it. give it to me. So I think I only started teaching Afrikaans this year. The year before, last year and the year before that, I taught social science and natural science and technology. So huge difference. But I do get it right. Some days I feel this is a complete fail. I don't know what I did. But when it comes to balance, I think your most important thing to remember is you need to be organized. You need to have a schedule. You can't just go in and say, well, I'm teaching today, so let me open that textbook and see, okay, yeah, this is what we're doing today. Hi, guys. So, and the same with English. I've been teaching children for about 5 years now and started teaching adults last year, more or less for a year now. So at first I thought, okay, how am I going to do this? Because with children, my energy is a great thing. And I don't want my adult students to feel that I'm treating them like children because it's my personality. So finding a balance in your personality, finding a balance in your schedule is, I think, your most important things to adapt to both classrooms, both offline and online. So I balance it by planning a month in advance so that if something happens, I can get a backup plan to cover whatever is going wrong or whatever I need to fix. So scheduling, very important. And then just some days just getting up and saying, you know what, you've got this. Just do it. You did plan for this day. It's going to be okay no matter what. So I think that's how you balance it. It's a mind game as well. It's not just something that's in your heart. You have to be positive about it, not think, I'm going to be dead at the end of this day. I'm only getting in 4 hours of sleep. How am I going to survive tomorrow? Just be like, okay, what time do I have to maybe take a nap? Do that. To actually give time and spend time with my family, do that. If they don't have time, let's figure something else out. So balance comes with scheduling, adapting, and communicating with other people as well. That's my advice.
I love that. I really take my hat off to you. You know, having to change, like you said, your mindset from 1 hour to the next. And a little birdie told me that you do your planning a month in advance. That's incredible. That's really incredible. It's all about planning your life and that schedule. So important. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us, Minette. Lovely.
Thank you.
Alrighty. So, guys, I would like to take us into our last segment here. Alrighty, guys. So, Quali, what? What is this about? Ali, I'd like to find out from you, how important are qualifications when it comes to teaching English?
That's a really tricky question, to be honest. It depends on where do you teach. Like if you want to teach in higher ed, then naturally that's like super important. But on the other hand, like I'll tell you a little bit about how I got into teaching. Like as I said, I have a sporting background. My higher education has nothing to do with teaching English. My education is my bachelor's is in sports science. And so, but when I made a shift from coaching to swimming, from coaching to teaching English, I didn't have any qualifications. What I had is the real true desire to teach. And what I remember really clearly, the first lesson that I've ever had was a trial lesson with the school that really took the risk to employ me. So one of my colleagues who still works with me now, she was like in the assessment sort of board. So they gave me a really simple task. They said, okay, explain to us like just any like random grammar topic. And I had no idea how to do that. I mean, English is my first language because I was like lucky to be born in a multicultural family. So I had no clue on how to explain the grammar rules, you know. So I stood in front of the board basically. And before I started, I said something that I keep telling even today. I said that I'm not just teaching English. I'm here to help you achieve your goals. And so like it stems from something that we talked about earlier. So what I'm doing here is I'm helping you build bridges to new opportunities that you want to find by using English as a tool. So I know I'm drifting a little bit off the topic here,
please.
but that drive in me, it's still alive here, and that's something that our founder really, you know, like sort of charges all of us fellow teachers in our school, and we try to charge each other with the same energy. That certifications are super important, but what's number one is it's your attitude. It's the purpose of why you're here in the classroom. Why are you in front of your like students, and what do you want to pass on to them? So when you understand that and you truly sort of exude that enthusiasm, exude that firm, I would say, enthusiasm to help people achieve their goals using English as a tool, the certifications, like be it TKT, like the simplest certification that you can get, TEFL, CELTA, Delta, anything, you just name it, or like get a higher ed, this is all secondary. It can come naturally to you. So I started without any certifications. I got some along the way, but what like makes us stand out as teachers, like what can make a teacher stand out from like a mediocre teacher to a teacher that can really bring results is pure attitude. It's the pure hunger to help the students like reach their goals and really like reach a point where the students can, as I said, use English as a tool. That's the credo that we stand for, and that's what we want to pass on to our students and our fellow teachers. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You know, I can relate where I also started with no experience. My sister was the one who wanted to be the teacher, and I never ever saw myself as a teacher. Now I am living the life. I absolutely love it. I get to spend time with my friends all day and help them and guide them. And when they are so excited about the new idiom that they're using in the next lesson, oh, my heart, it is really all about your attitude. And
True.
online teaching can get lonely if you are teaching from home because you don't have any colleagues. I've only met one of my colleagues, and there are about 16 of them, but I only see them online all the time. So, yes, thanks. Thanks, Ali. I really appreciate that advice. I love it. So, Robert, what do you have to say? What's up?
So, you mentioned that you don't really get to meet your colleagues, but I feel like I've met you guys like on Slack, and you guys are awesome. That's just my take on it.
I completely agree.
Ezra Abu brought up a really good point. When we talk, we don't really notice the grammar, and I think Ali brought this up as well. It's really something that you have to go back and find out why we do this thing. And
reverse engineer. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's just what I was looking for. And we really have to go out and find the rules and find out why this is the case. And I think the qualifications to some degree helps us with that, depending on where you go to get those qualifications. But as Derek pointed out, attitude is very important. It's much more interesting to see someone who's passionate about the topic than someone who's just reading from a book.
Exactly.
Yeah. Definitely. So, Minette, can you tell me what are some different qualifications out there that someone can get?
There are a lot of qualifications. I think your main one that everyone goes for is your TEFL course
Mm-hmm.
and your TOEFL course as well. I think because this is what everyone's looking for. All of the companies are looking for it. Even if they don't require you to have a degree, they still want the certificates. So I think those are your main two. And then obviously I think it's good to have a degree in something sometimes. If it's in teaching, I think it's better for you as a person because then you just feel more confident. Like, I actually studied for this, so I've got this. Because sometimes, and I think, let's be honest, some people think, okay, I'm going to grab my laptop, let's be an online teacher. How difficult can it be, right? And
Right.
then it's quite difficult at times, and they don't get that until they start teaching. Then they're like, what happened? Everyone said this is like my one-way ticket to fame and fortune. So yeah, and I've got the certificate. I don't have anything else. I've got the certificate. So I think yes, it's good to have those two certificates. Your TEFL and your TOEFL, very good to have. Not a problem at all. I know some people also requires an IELTS for you to do an IELTS test, and then you can teach with them. And like I said, a degree. So I think that's basically your four main requirements most of the time. And like Ali said, sometimes you don't really need them because if you are passionate about things and you do your planning correctly and you understand your topic, then you'll do fine. Okay, maybe you won't do great at first, but I have to say that I never thought about teaching anything. Became a teacher. First year, I was like, what am I doing with my life? Is this me? And some days I still feel like this. I feel like there's so much more. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, wait, I'm changing people's lives. So yeah, well done. Never thought about becoming an online teacher. Did that. Got my TEFL, and I was still a student when I started teaching online. I was a final year student, so I balanced that as well, and it was fun. But I was scared because I was like, okay, this is not people in front of me anymore. It's online. So now the game is changing, and it's adults. So let's see what we can do. So I think I use my passion more than my knowledge for online, and sometimes I do the same when it comes to offline teaching as well. You have to have that passion because you need to, how can I say, interest your students as well. It's like luring someone in and saying, okay, well, this is actually juicy. Pay attention because this is what's interesting. And even if they just learn one thing from your entire grammar, vocab, pronunciation, or any type of lesson, they learn one thing, you changed something in that person's life. So that's my opinion on what you need for TOEFL, TEFL, IELTS, and a degree. That's my opinion.
Awesome.
Very
I love
well
it.
said, Minette.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to thank our guests, Minette, Ali. This has been so interesting. I really appreciate you being here from all over the world. So yes, thanks guys, and we'll definitely keep in touch. Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty, Mr. Salo, did you take notes or are you going to copy mine?
I'm going to copy yours.
That's not allowed in school. Better be careful.
What'd you get for number one?
All right. Thank you for being such a fabulous co-host today. As always, I would like to first thank our sponsors. Thank you to the Teaching Revolution, always supporting us. And yes, take care, Mr. Salo, and bye to all of our viewers. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, see you soon. Bye.